Work out in that area?
Mud Road, yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Everybody's got a command, so what we've got is over here, just to give you nature. You have Indians, they're very fickle, okay, great hand-to-hand fighters, okay, if they're in the woods, they're very difficult to hit, so just keep that in mind. They're on the British side. Their intent is that the British have coordinated, we're trying to get the town and wipe out the provincials that are camping out here. Okay.
Bring it on.
Okay, the provincials do not know they're coming yet. Okay, so they kind of gotta, the British kind of have the Axis moving in. Well, just so happens the Americans over there, they're basically regulars. They're coming in.
Continental infantry?
Yeah, they're regulars. If you put them in a firing line when you get up close,
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
you know, 1 or 2 man across, it's going to be devastating. So the firing line is really your greatest strength. You guys also have the ability to do firing line, but you're just not as steadfast. You're not regulars. You're provincials.
Fire line basically is, as it means you have 2 lines set up, first line fire, second. Okay.
Up to 2 men.
And they will all fire. They all fire at the same time.
Yes.
So you have the provincials. They're kind of like the ones holding it. Coming down from this way is the British regulars under Mr. Charles. Mr. Charles over here, and he's coming in. Really the equivalent of your Americans. And then lastly, I have a little small contingent of Rangers that are coming in. We have rifles, so they can either be very effective or very useless as they fire 1 shot and then take 2 turns to reload, or 2 actions.
So it's basically us 3 taking on.
Well, then it's 1, 2. Actually, you 2 taking on us 3.
I thought you had the Rangers. Okay.
Oh, wow.
British Rangers.
British Rangers.
Ah, okay.
Well, I guess
Hello, Americans.
I'll have to rise to your age and see what I can do.
Because there's
Okay.
a lot of colonial guys,
Yeah.
a lot of militia guys.
Yeah, there's 10 on each one, and then he's got 4 in the fort as well.
Ah, okay.
He holds the fort. This is what the objectives are. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Fort
Gotcha.
and those.
and typically we only do 3 or 4 rounds of the decks.
Okay.
So you'll see once the chaos starts going. So what happens is I'll throw a card out. So it'll say who it is. So this is the American regulars. You would get to do 2 actions.
Right.
Okay, so you can move twice. You can move and fire. You can move, reload,
Yeah.
whatever it may be.
Okay.
There is no difference between movement and charging in the combat. It's one and the same. If you touch each other,
Thanks.
if you touch each other, then you're going to be in combat.
Right. Yeah, I was watching a little video today. Like normally you can have your unit split up and do 2 different things. Like some men can move and the others can shoot. But if you move in a melee, everybody's in melee, and that's the.
Maybe you guys are not in effective range, so you're like, okay, I don't want to shoot long range because it's harder for me to hit. So I'll move with those guys and fire.
Yeah.
You can split it up either way.
Yeah.
I do have some cheat sheets.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Yes.
These are basically all the rules condensed into one.
Okay.
But what it looks like is you have really 3 actions, 3 major actions. One is move, shoot, reload, and there's a 4th one called vigilance. Okay. Yeah, it's basically, hey, I'm not going to do my action. I'm going to just be vigilant. So if somebody moves close, I can shoot at it.
Like a
Okay.
reaction off that point.
Yeah. It gives you a reaction.
Let me ask you a silly question. I don't mean to jump ahead. How do you mark people whether if they're reloading or loading or fired or what?
Oh, we've got cotton behind you for firing, and then we've got these for vigilance markers.
Okay, rocking on. Thank you.
Got it?
And the first thing though is you have to be able to see each other. See each other is not a die roll. Okay, what it is basically the terrain that you're in, and then how far the distance is. Typical eye-to-eye visual is 96 inches in the open. Okay. When it goes to light cover though, it drops down to 36 inches, and then finally 18 inches. If you include, hey, they're Indians, it's going to be even less. It's going to be harder to see them if they're in the woods. Then you have movement. Each unit has a different movement rate. These guys, they're Indians. They move at a rate of 6. All regulars and provincials will move at 4, and the light troops over there will move at 5. So Indians once again have the advantage on that. Then if you want to do a shooting phase, it's basically you're going to take your ballistic skill, your shooting ability. You have to roll above that, but there might be modifiers in that. If you hit, then you're going to base it on the firepower of the weapon. You have one unit of here which is bows, so they're not really that much firepower. The advantage of bows, you can fire every round. You don't have to reload. They're automatically reloading. These guys are all musket armed, so they fire, and it's going to be based on their firepower minus anything multipliers. Last thing is melee. Which, if you get into melee, you're going to base it on your fighting ability versus the other person's fighting ability. You both roll off, and you see if you hit the other person. If you do a hit, then you have a defensive roll. See if you block it. If you don't, both of you could die at the same time. One could die, and you keep on fighting until one of the units break.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so once you get into melee, it's very decisive.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to die. Somebody's going to break.
Yeah.
The last thing is if you have to do a morale test, once again, the Indians are fickle, so they are going to be the easiest to push back, fall back. Regulars are going to be the hardest. Provincials are somewhere in the middle. And so what happens is you have to do a morale test. You'll have to roll off. Different things is you can have no reaction, which means you stay the course. If you're in melee, that means you keep on fighting. Recoil means you fall back your movement rate, but you face the opponent, which is very important. And then the other one is flight, where you face the opposite direction. So if somebody gets in hand-to-hand, they're gonna bushwhack you from the rear. That's flight, and you'll lose all the rest of the actions for the rest of the round. Okay. Recoil, you'll only lose the next action that pops up. And then finally, if you roll a rout, you're off the board. Okay. Now you have different units, so if one unit breaks, the other unit keeps on fighting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you have an officer who he's going to add a morale booster to the unit and everything else. So that's really the rules in and down and dirty. 2-minute rules. And I think really the best way is just try to get every time I've played is you do a quick summary on that, and once you get a couple cards in, everybody's like, okay, I got it.
Okay.
You guys good?
Is this how we're going with the initial setup? This is it, the way it is?
You
I'm
can
not cool with that. I'm just.
you can move your individual guys any way you want, but pretty much they're on that hill next to they're camping out, you know.
If you want to give me help, feel free.
Oh,
I've never done this.
I'm gonna rush as quickly as I can. You're ready.
Okay. No, I mean, is he allowed to tell me stuff?
Yeah, you guys can talk it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I take it the stream here, the creek, is portable.
Yes.
As rough terrain or something.
Yeah. It's going to decrease your movement.
Does he have rifles or muskets?
Just muskets.
Okay.
Same thing here. Just
Everybody's got muskets except for the lights of the Rangers. Basically, what it's going to come down to, it's going to become a scrums match right here. Okay. I think he's going to be slow getting here because he's got to cross another. He's going to move. He's only moving 4 inches, and he's got to cross another stream until he comes up the rear of these guys. So it's going to be a while. So really, the action is going to be first here, then probably you, then Charles, and then.
Indians may all be dead.
No. Should I be putting stuff inside?
They'll be bloody.
I don't know. Can you deploy some of them?
Surprise.
Can you deploy some of them inside the cabin?
Does that do anything for
Nah,
me?
not that one now. This one it does.
Okay.
But these guys are all hanging out with the buffalo. They're camping out. You got your garrison right now.
Okay.
And the joy of this is this. Simply put, is I have no idea if this is fair or not, but hopefully it's fun.
Yeah.
Talk about who cares.
Right.
We were never much into doing all the points because let's just throw it down.
Yeah.
And if it's off, it's probably historically right.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny is I played a lot of tournaments. I used to be into Warhammer and stuff, and go in Flames of War, and you know, it's always like, oh, you have to have the exact same points. And there's never a frickin' battle that had the same amount of guys fighting on the, you know.
Yeah.
Do you think the fort looks good?
So all these
Guys,
units are they specific
we
size?
got 4 guys in the fort.
Yeah.
So there's
And a bunch of
6
bicycles.
guys there, there's 5 here, there's 7 here. Is that right, or should there be 6?
Should I move these around? I mean, they're pretty much gotta be clumped in this area,
Kind of
so.
put this guy
Yeah.
standing up.
I don't know if there's any cover.
you lead your officer.
Okay.
Unless you want the guy. you wanna just pick a
Like a
guy
woods
to
or
be your
something,
officer. Trying to figure out somebody different.
This guy might work. Should be fine.
Now, Charles, are these all your guys, all these figures? And these are the ones you got at Hobby Lobby?
The Indians are, and the Americans and the British.
Pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know, I can't believe it's like already pre-painted figures.
Yeah, they're perfect for this.
Yeah,
I mean, perfect.
If I can save them back, it's gonna be good.
yeah.
I was giving him grief telling him, dude, those guys are like 35 millimeter at least. But
Yeah.
they're not that big.
No.
They're just spot
In
on.
fact,
I mean, they're not far removed. I mean, I think they're like 28
Okay.
millimeters, 28 and a half.
And that's an objective, and this is an objective.
The War Games factory guys
Objective,
has
yeah,
are real
objective.
close to them.
yeah.
Ford is
I
the
mean,
objective of
Here's Old Glory 25
And they're
millimeter.
25, yeah, so they're a little.
25, 28 millimeter.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
just about the right, oh, thanks.
I can't pay you anything, man. I mean,
I couldn't do anything either. I gave up
let
until
me tell you,
Army Painter, that wash stuff that they got, that ink.
I
Oh,
plan on
my
going
gosh.
on eBay and just going, here's a check for $500. Send me a fucking,
Send me an Army.
send me an army. I want it painted, and I want a big cannon that's, the cannonballs are bigger than their heads. Just like, that included the figurines in them though.
Yeah, here's
Oh,
Here's a figure.
Did you get those at Hobby Lobby?
Absolutely. All you gotta do is paint the jackets out of a different color, and it'll be he won't know any difference.
Duncan.
Oh, nice.
I thought, oh, yeah, I gotta have a Duncan Hayward. But then he's
Oh,
actually,
yeah, come on.
I actually saw him, he's actually an Old Glory French officer. So I painted him one color. Here's it.
See, my history is not for the uniforms and such a deep period.
So where do you work at now? What do you
I
do?
work in Fort
Yeah.
Myers, about 2 miles away.
What do you do?
Network administrator, computers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Security Plus, Net Plus, all that good stuff.
I had my CCNA several
World
years
War
ago.
II, I'm a little more.
I work at the Cyber Center.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I'm a
Right weapons.
assistant commandant at the Army Cyber Center. Air Cyber and NSA and all that good stuff. And
When I get outside.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
Jim.
Good, hey Jim, nice to meet
Nice to
you.
meet you.
Hey Carl.
Hi,
Hi.
thank you. Good.
I know, you know, Robert, Jim,
Jim.
and
Steve.
Steve.
I knew everybody, but.
Yeah. It's just mine.
Where you
Oh, yeah.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Oh, we're going in the end of July or
Oh,
August,
you
so
really?
let her know it's the tent sale.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the tent sale, we're going.
And ready whenever.
Yeah, just tell her the plates are all up, did you see them?
Yeah, you won't hurt my feelings if you
Is
say, hey,
anyone
do that,
interested
do
in
that.
pizza?
Like I said, I've never done this before.
Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, I think the only thing I can see is I just gotta get up there and maybe form up a deal with these guys.
Yeah, there's probably gonna be a nice pitch battle somewhere around here.
Yeah.
Hopefully these guys will do something besides this.
And then get one of my units, if they survive.
Trust me, I don't think this is an unfair fight, trust me.
Yeah.
If these guys are gonna be very tough to deal with if they
Yeah,
stay
if
in
they
the
would.
woods.
Yeah.
As soon as they leave out, because remember, these are the two
Yeah,
objectives, so they gotta go in the open.
I'm hoping to get a nice kill zone somewhere around here. Someplace L-shaped ambush.
No.
Yeah, now, where did those sheets
But
go?
I'm sure she would love to do that.
Yeah, I